Okay, so the next step is going to be to open up our cylinder into a vessel, and then we're going to pull the walls. Those are the terms, okay? So to open up your cylinder, put your hands on it, rest your thumbs on the center, and then just kind of make an indent. And then you're going to kind of plunge your thumbs down until you can imagine you're about a ½ inch from the bottom, okay? Maybe 3/4 of an inch. You want to leave some room at the bottom because otherwise you might accidentally go all the way to the back, right, and wreck your vessel. Okay, so got our thumbs in there. I'm at the depth I want. And now I'm going to take my fingers and I'm going to take one hand to protect the outside so I don't just stretch it wide. And one hand's going to go inside, and I'm going to open up this inside by taking these fingers and pulling it toward this hand. Right? So I'm going to kind of pull this like this. So fingers are in there, hands on the outside, and I'm pulling my fingers toward my hand. So it's the first step in opening. So what you can see now is the inside here, the bottom kind of has more room. Okay? You can even go further if you would like to. So now that our cylinder is opened, our job is going to be to take the thickness of this wall and turn it into height. And we're just going to go straight up. You may want to make a bowl or something like that in the future, but for now, we just want to make a straight up and down cylinder because it's the beginning of just about everything you make. So, the easiest way to pull your walls is to, with wet hands, slimy not sticky, we're going to take these fingers and just squash them together, right? By putting pressure on both sides. It's going to force this clay, similar to a pinch pot, it's going to force it to get thinner and taller. Every time you mess with your project or mess with your walls, you also want to come back and mind the rim, make sure that the rim isn't getting too wobbly or too out of whack. Just come back in and do it again. See if you can get a little more height. And with the amount of clay we're using, you can do pretty much the whole thing using that technique. But once you start using more clay, when you pull your walls, you're going to have to move your hands up with it, okay? So how you would go about doing that is to pinch in here at the bottom. So I'm just have my hands, it has my fingers on the inside, and I'm pinching them from here. So it makes a little groove for my fingers. And I'm going to go so slow because what I want to have happen is that by the time this goes around one time, my fingers haven't moved. So you want to go slow enough that you can do a full rotation on the potter's wheel so that it's perfectly even thickness everywhere. So I'm just pinching, but I'm not pinching and letting go. I'm just holding and then slowly pulling up. And so that thickness is being converted into height. You see how both my hands are on the project? You never have an extra hand on the potter's wheel. If it's not actually touching the clay, it's helping the other hand stay steady. Okay. And once you pull a wall, it's kind of a good practice to go back in and make sure that your walls are nice and straight. And then we're going to go in and do it again. So this time I'm using just the side of my hand, but I'm pushing one hand against the fingers on the inside and very slowly moving up to displace that clay in the thickness of the walls into height. When you get a shape you like, use your forming tool, okay, the side that looks like a spoon, upside down. Carefully, we want to trim off some of this excess clay around the base.